We feel many times that our representatives are not really representing us.
Hey guys, Fernando here again. Day 2 of the Eternity Universe 1 blockchain conference, and I'm here with Pablo. Pablo from Eternity Americas.
Yes, my name is Pablo Coirolo I'm CEO of Aeternity Americas.
Yes. Can you tell us a little bit about Aeternity Americas? What it is about?
Aeternity Americas is a new concept that we have at Aeternity. That basically what we're doing is we're creating a new way to launch an ecosystem.
Yeah.
We integrate not only the community and businesses, but we have the developers, and we also have universities. Because we believe that in order to be able to really expand, what you need is to create courses through the universities where developers can learn our Sophia language.
Yeah.
And then you need to create business opportunities for them to be able to develop for those business opportunities. So in our case, what we're doing is we are creating those lighthouse projects where they can see the different uses that we have. Yeah. And in that case, we have different very interesting lighthouse projects.
Okay. And this model is, it has a name, right? It's called?
We call it the Terraforming Model.
Okay.
So it's creating all the necessary elements for the ecosystem to thrive.
Okay, yeah, logical and easy to understand. I know from out of this model, you guys have had a few use cases. Can you talk about these use cases?
Yes, we can. One of the areas that we saw that required blockchain technology was the traceability of cannabis. There's cannabis, the industry has been growing all over the world. Uruguay was the first country in the world to fully legalize the consumption, production, and the export of cannabis.
Yeah.
So therefore, we are working with one of the oldest companies in cannabis in Uruguay to do the full traceability from the seed to the end product. Why is that important, especially for the pharmaceutical industry, to make sure that the species that they're getting is exactly what they need?
Yes. And would you say what component exactly of Eternity is used to make this kind of possible? Of course, the whole system is used, but I think it has something to do with oracles.
Well, we're using what we're doing in the case of cannabis. Yeah. We're mixing IoTs and blockchain. Why? Because each person who comes to provide a service to the shelf, they're in different shelves, to the shelf and to the plant, that gets registered on the blockchain. However, what we need is to identify that person, and that we use sensors and IoTs. In terms of oracles, what we're using is all the information on irrigation, temperature, all that is provided by IoTs, then the oracles provide the services of information.
Okay, fair enough. And there's 2 more projects. Can you talk about them as well?
Yes, one of the projects that we're doing is we're working with a company in Brazil that they are about to launch a gaming platform, which is a gaming academy. What they're doing is they're professionalizing gaming. So they provide not only a physical space, which is the arena to be able to have the combats, before and during the soccer matches. So that's very interesting because you already have 40,000 people there, and then you live stream the combat that's happening in the stadium.
Yeah.
And they also professionalize everything that has to do with representation of the players. And it has a very interesting social component in that they create gaming houses. And in these gaming houses, the kids compete in the stadium.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting because it gets a lot of the kids out of drugs. It gives them, they have them do exercise, and also be clean of drugs.
All right, cool. And I think the last project, which is particularly interesting, and it's definitely applicable for the Caribbean nations and communities. Can you talk about that one as well?
Yes. The last project that we're doing now in Lighthouse is we're working with a digital party in Uruguay to create a liquid democracy platform where the representative of the party that has to vote in parliament, his or her vote is based on what the people decided to do. So it's not anymore you only consult once every 4 years, every 5 years, but you have the opportunity to give your opinion of what's going on in each one of those instances. And they saw our platform that we use for our internal liquid democracy. And I think that our philosophies match a lot in having the participation of the people. And this gives not only transparency, but only really that your opinion really matters.
Yeah. So people can be much more involved in the decision-making process on a in a political spectrum, so to speak, in Uruguay, if they are vote for this party, right?
Exactly, because basically, again, they're trying to modernize democracy, and I think this is a concept that's very, very important, because what's happening is we feel many times that our representatives are not really representing us. And that's something that happens. It's an oxymoron sometimes, and they're representing other interests and not our interests. And this is a way that your interests, not only you can see because you can verify on the blockchain that your vote was there, but also you can decide to give your opinion or not. And you have total transparency that the representative voted as the majority of the people decided to go.
Very, very interesting project. I will ask you a little bit more of a personal question. How do you see blockchain technology influence? Maybe not. Let's not go global, but just the community around you. How do you see blockchain technology in the coming decades or centuries influence communities?
Well, I think that what blockchain enables is a more participated society. It enables that people's opinion matters. And the interesting, if you see what happened with Bitcoin, and it's not only a local matter, it's a global matter.
That's true.
And what I see is that all these movements, even what's happening in Hong Kong right now, okay, it shows how different communities can help each other to organize and to give their opinion of what's going on.
Yeah.
And you see these movements, and this has been the evolution of social media.
Yeah.
And now people from Norway are helping the people from Hong Kong and from other places. And that really revolutionizes how governments interact with their citizens. We've had the same way for probably 2,000 years that we've interacted with our citizens.
Yeah.
And now the citizens are pushing back and saying, no, I don't care that you don't care about global warming. I care about global warming. And a Swiss, I believe she's Swede, the 13-year-old from Sweden is now talking in the parliament, in the Congress in the United States. And you start saying that never happened before. And she's being received in terms of global warming, because now we start seeing global problems and we have a global solution.
Yeah. It's really interesting to see how blockchain tech is kind of empowering people to take the prosperity, organizing their own prosperities, and assuring their own securities into their own hands. So
exactly, it's the empowerment. It's giving the power back to the people to decide and to make a meaningful impact on the world.
Yeah, interesting. Do you have any closing remarks? How can people get involved into AE Americas? And maybe in more interesting question, are you guys going to be in the Caribbean?
We're definitely going to be in the Caribbean. I love the Caribbean. I've sailed extensively there. I sailed from the BVI's to Peru.
Yeah.
And I really, really enjoy the Caribbean. And I think that the diversity that you have in the Caribbean is very interesting.
Yeah.
So definitely, we are going to go and expand into the Caribbean. And we'd like to make a call for people who are interested in Aeternity to become ambassadors, because is part of this terraforming is our beachhead are always ambassadors in each one of the countries, in each one of the places, and they sort of spawn the local community, and then we come to support them to be able to create that community and make it expand. So this is also not only from us, it's the initiative from the people. So an initiative from the people to come to us. We are open source. All of our code is open. All of our developer meetups of what we're developing are open every Friday. You can see what we're developing, and you can become a part of it. Everybody can become a part of it. We are inclusive, and if you have an initiative, an interesting initiative, to be able to spawn the community, to be able to work, get in contact with us through either our foundation. We have the Aeternity website. We have the forum at Aeternity, which is also the center of our universe. There you can contact everybody in the Aeternity universe who's there, from developers, from community developers, from us in Americas, from ventures. This is very important. If you have an interesting project, we are funding startups that can start with our venture program, and we fund them between $100,000 and $250,000. So the opportunity is yours, and get in contact with us.
Yeah, you hear the man. Take responsibility, guys. It's your opportunity. Thanks. Thank you very much, and I hope you
Very well.
enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you.